Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm from Living Light RV, and Kent and I are grabbing life by the tail. Today I want to talk to you a bit about downsizing. So we've had to go from a 4-bedroom house into what we call the funnel, which is a 2-bedroom apartment, and then in September we'll be heading into a trailer. So that has required a lot of downsizing. So I wanted to share with you our journey for downsizing and what that looks like, and hopefully you can get some tips and tricks for your downsizing journey as well.
Alright, I cleaned it up, put it on Kijiji, told everybody that it's a one-start machine. Haven't started it today. Let's find out if that's the case. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think the first one was a nothing, so I just put gas in it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, I got a couple of stories to tell you. Number one is we had a wall unit that was a china cabinet, but it was with a lot of cupboards in it. I'll show you the video of us getting rid of it. We had it for 29 years. We got it when we lived in Vancouver. We moved out to Calgary about 15 years ago, and we carried it with us everywhere we went. We even had a house where it actually could only go in the garage. We couldn't even bring it into the house because we didn't have a place for it. It was that big. It was that big of a monster. I referred to it for a number of years as the boat anchor. It was a beautiful piece. In its day, it was a beautiful piece for many years. We enjoyed it, but we finally got to the place of saying, this is no longer having to be carried around by us. We can send it off to somebody else. So don't be afraid to get rid of those things. You're probably going to discover a lot of things that you actually do not need anymore, and you'll realize, yeah, you're right, it doesn't fit into the category of have to have. So don't be afraid to get rid of them, and the end result might be that you actually don't even have to have a storage locker, because that's where we want to get to. We want to be on the road. We want to be with our own stuff that we actually need with us, not having a storage locker, not having any of our burden in someone else's possession, but that we can actually live lighter and freer. And that's the journey we're looking forward to starting very soon.
One reason why we hang on to things and why we end up collecting more stuff than what we really need or want, for me, some of it was, I'm saving it for my kids, or I'm saving it for my future grandchildren, or I feel obligated to keep something because someone special gave it to me a long time ago, or maybe a family member owned it and I've inherited it. So those kinds of reasons could be what's holding us back from getting rid of some of the clutter in our life. So even if it's important clutter or nice clutter, it's still clutter. So I think I'm just going to start with basically how I started with downsizing. And the first thing I did was basically take either a room at a time or an item at a time. So for instance, we did all of our games, and we are a huge games family, board games and card games and puzzles and all that kind of stuff. And I just put it all on the kitchen table. I actually have photos of that, so I'll share that here so you can see what the mess looked like before I downsized it all. And then the second thing I did is I went through and asked myself a few key questions. So the questions are, do I really love this? Do I really need this? Am I really going to use it? So those are kind of the three main questions I would ask for each thing. So literally pick up one puzzle or one game and say, okay, am I really going to use this? Like, really, how many times in the last year have I used it? And am I really going to use it? And be honest with yourself. It's hard because, we think, well, of course I'm going to use it. That's why I have it in the first place. But that's not necessarily true. So why do I have this? Am I really going to use it? So yes, the answer is yes, I'm going to use it. I do use it. And so it goes into the keep pile. If I look at the item and I say, I kind of want it, but I don't really need it. Like, it's not something I need. It's not something I use regularly. I'm going to bless somebody else with it. It's still in good condition. It's basically brand new. It's hardly been used. I'm either going to sell it, maybe on Kijiji or Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, or I'm going to give it away. So giving away is kind of a really fun thing to do with your things. I love it. Personally, I would rather give stuff away than try and sell it. I've given things away to family, to friends, to people from our church, to neighbors, to yeah, just anybody really that I can think of that might need or use the item more than I'll use it. So a perfect example, actually, just recently I had been trying to get rid of my china set, my lavender rose china that my mom and dad gave us for our wedding. So it's sentimental. It does mean a lot to me, and it was hard to make that decision to get rid of it. But honestly, buying china in an RV is probably not the best idea. So, and honestly, I never used it. Again, it's one of those things that yes, I like it. Yes, it's sentimental to me, but I truly never used it. And so I thought, okay, I'm just gonna sell it. So I put it on Kijiji, no bites. I lowered the price, still no bites, lowered it more. Nobody wants my china. My kids don't want it. So I think to myself, what am I gonna do with this china? A couple days ago, I found out that my cousin, who lives way out in Manitoba, that she used to have exactly the same pattern, and she has lost hers over the years, and she would like it. And I thought, perfect. So I was able to bless her with that. I gave it to her. My daughter's on her way out there, going across Canada. She just left this morning, and so she's gonna take the china out to my cousin. Win-win for everybody. I know it's still in the family. It's sentimental. It's passed on to her. She'll pass it on to her daughter. So what a beautiful thing.
I have a tip for you guys when you are downsizing. Downsizing can take some time, it can take some energy, but it can really take some emotion too. Take the time in your schedule to go out and live some life. Don't get too caught up on downsizing only. You gotta take that break. When you're getting rid of things like motorcycles, like your lawnmower, like your china, like your pictures, and taking care of all of those things in life that were really defining who you are. It can take an emotional toll that you don't even have a clue you're getting caught up in, and the turmoil of all that can start to wane on your relationships, can start to wane on your outlook of life, because that wasn't ever how you decided to do life, and all of a sudden you've got these goals in mind, you're getting closer to those goals. So there's two things I have for you in those tips. Number one, like I said, take the time to go out and live some life. Go on a date, go get an ice cream cone, do whatever it takes to go out there and change up the pace. Number two, when you have an accomplishment, when you've done some success of downsizing, you've gotten rid of something big, you've sold your house, celebrate. Put some energy into it. Make it exciting. You're on your journey, you're doing the right things. Nobody else really knows why you're doing these things as much as you do. Be excited about the things you've accomplished.
I'm trying to figure out who this kid is on his dinosaur.
Whoa.
I'm like, should I put my reading glasses on, or should I just I think it's Laura? Anna? I'm not sure who that is. I think it's Anna. Oh, this is my favorite picture of all time. So sweet, those precious little nieces. Anyway.
And your daughter.
And Emily, yes. So, I want to tell you about how I scan my pictures into my computer. So this is taking physical photos and turning them into digital photos. I've realized that digital photos are more valuable than physical photos, which is why I'm okay with recycling them and throwing them out. Because this whole box of photos has just been sitting around for years, decades actually, and nobody looks at these pictures. They're just sitting there. They're gorgeous shots. Look at this. How adorable is that little sweetheart? So when I scan this photo and I get it into my computer, now I can use that JPEG as a Facebook picture. I can email it to my sister. I can put it in a montage, a photo montage for an album. I did one for my dad for Father's Day this year. Those wedding montages that people do, you can put them in there. And really, if you want to print them again, you can. They're right there. Just print them out again. But honestly, I really think that scanning your physical photos, getting rid of the originals, I'll tell you about how I get rid of them in a second, is actually more valuable than keeping the physical copies. Unless you're one of those people that likes to look at photo albums and you do that on a regular basis, then go for it. I don't do that. We don't end up looking at our physical photos when they're just in boxes. So this scanner is portable, so it's fantastic for tiny living, for any kind of minimalist living, nomadic living. So it's totally portable, which is fantastic. You can just charge it at a regular charging station, and it will scan. You can adjust the size of how you scan things here, which is great. I just leave it at full size because I don't find I need to use the guide. It will scan one side at a time, so you can't do double-sided, which is kind of a bummer. It'd be nice if you could do both sides for doing other documents like letters and papers. But you know what? It does a really good job. You can choose 300 DPI or 600 DPI, and it basically scans, like I basically scan a whole year at a time. So I took 2004 out of the bin. I'm now scanning all of 2004, and when I'm finished scanning 2004, I will take the SD card out of here and put it in my computer, and then I'll show you in a second what I'm going to do with that. So now here comes the biggest reason why I scan 1 year at a time, because it makes this step so much easier. So I've imported all the photos into Doxy, into the Doxy app that you get with the scanner. Oh, I'm so tired. And then I select all of the pictures. I go down to save. Save as JPEGs. These are all your options, JPEGs. You can save as PDF, as PNG, BMP, however you want to do it. I save as JPEGs. I go into my folders. I've done every year in each individual folder. So I go to 2004. I hit OK. It's going to save all those scans. Again, it takes a minute or two. As soon as that's done, I select all the pictures, I delete them off of the card, and then I put the fresh, clean, new card back into the Doxy scanner, and then I'm good to go for my next batch of pictures. Or letters, or what else can I put in there? Receipts, anything that is going to go through the scanner will go through that same process. And then I just put them in different folders. Now, Kent had asked me earlier if there's enough space on my computer for all of these photos, and there actually isn't. So what I've done is I put them on the computer, do about 3 or 4 or 5 years at a time, and then I will upload them to Google Photos. So that's on the cloud or the web or however you want to say that, but they're all on Google Photos. I have unlimited storage there, so I can just put all as many pictures as I want on there, and I can access them anytime, anywhere, any place. So thanks for watching this video today. If you'd like to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button below. And if you want more information on our downsizing journey, more of the specifics, the practical of how we did it, you can check out our website at livinglightrv.com and share in the comments below about your downsizing journey. Give us some tips and tricks. I know there's so much more to this subject than I was able to cover in this video, but I know you've got lots of great ideas, so go ahead and share those below. Thanks for watching.
Hey.
So when you come to Calgary, you have to get Peter's milkshakes for sure.
On 16th.
16th Avenue. It's called Peter's Drive-In, but really it's more of a drive-through or a walk up. And when you order fries, this is a small fry. There's a lot of fries.
And the large fries are family size, and they're like this. So if there's 2 of you, don't even bother.
Family 5 or 6, yeah, get a large fries. Hamburgers are good. Hot dogs are good.
Yeah, and you can combine 3 different flavors to make thousands of combinations for all the
Lots
milkshakes.
of flavors of milkshakes.
It's the place.
Totally worth it. Don't make it.
That's it.